So today I'm watching Cole the Corn Star. So let's jump in this video and get going. And he's showing you everything they've already gutted, everything they've already done. And this is pretty cool.
Right now. So we have a big old hole in the ground with concrete walls sticking up where the underground movie theater is going to go.
Okay, now I like this. A big underground hole there. They're building a movie theater outside as a basement. Okay, this is pretty cool.
And we are ready to start pouring the concrete floor in the underground movie theater. But it is wintertime, and it is cold. It's actually 4 degrees outside right now, and we have snow down there. So that is not really a environment for pouring concrete.
Okay, like I said last time, it's 4 degrees there. I'm glad a lot of these people up north don't know the temperatures in Texas because we'd really be overwhelmed.
Today we are going to be focusing our attention over at my parents' house and in the main heated shop. My parents' house, like mine, is a little bit of a construction zone. We are doing some side job remodeling over here. So we have the garage as our staging area, and this garage is heated, so it's nice and comfortable in here. But my parents are remodeling, number one, this room, which used to be an office, and they are going to be turning it into a bathroom. So we currently have it gutted right now, and it is kind of sitting because we can't do the construction of our walls until we get that radiator out of the way, and we don't want to pull the radiator out during the middle of the winter time because we don't want to have a problem with that when we're pulling it out and then have no heat for the rest of the house. Now, the other project that we are working on, or for the remodel side of things, is putting in all new plumbing down in the basement. So my parents had this old galvanized piping in here. It was absolutely disgusting. So we've already got all this pulled down. We got a pile in here. Like, look at this. That pipe was completely closed. On top of getting the old piping down, we also replaced the old piping with this brand new stuff. Brand new stuff. Is that double talking? Is that correct English? We currently have the basement shower not hooked up, and we currently have the basement washing machine not hooked up, and we also have all of our old piping laying all over the floor. So I'm gonna tackle this first, and then we're gonna see if we can get these two things hooked up. For putting things back together, I'm gonna start with the shower. We're gonna be doing a little bit of reusing and recycling in the shower. The old fixture was fed by the old galvanized pipes, and so that thing was looking pretty grungy. I ended up going over to my house, and in the basement, like 2 years ago, we installed this shower fixture, which is basically identical to what we had over here. But this one has had maybe 5 gallons of water ran through it. It's just got a little bit of paint on it and a little bit of dust. That's why it looks dirty. But we should have some really clean components on the other one. We did clean out the bottom part, but looking inside of there, it still looks...
First of all, this is very interesting. I love the way that when you look at the way this thing is built, right here, the mounts are back here, the water supply lines are external. So a lot of these fixtures here are designed to be installed on an external wall, not in the wall, which is very unique to me because here in Texas, well, most construction jobs and places I've ever been, all the plumbing is in the wall. So it's very unique to see plumbing designed for something like this. This is made to go, right on a Haydite brick wall, and now you've got your water right there. Kind of neat.
That's why it looks dirty,
something to look
but
at.
we should have some really clean components on the other one. We did clean out the bottom part, but looking inside of there, it still looks pretty nasty and pretty grungy. So since we got all new packs, we should have nice clean pipes. I'm gonna open this up and we're just gonna double check to make sure that's super clean inside of there. But if that one's clean, we're just gonna take these brass fittings off of this. We're gonna put them on there and then we'll hang that up. I feel like it's somehow getting tighter. Oh yeah, that looks really clean. Look at that, nice and clean. Just a little bit of grime on that one, but not bad at all. Now, whoever invented a crescent wrench with vice grips on it, I didn't know I would need to thank you, but this thing is actually kind of cool.
And then he's not using it.
Gross. I got our new old fixture apart, and I ended up cleaning all these threads up. So I just got a little toothbrush here that's got some steel bristles on it.
Old fixture.
We're going down there, get everything nice and clean. Like I said, this thing's had like 5 gallons of water ran through it, so it really is pretty much almost spotless. It's just the outside had some paint on it. That's the only reason why it looks dirty. But I was able to get the brass fittings off of the old one, and I cleaned up the threads a little bit. We got a little bit of goop on there, but we're gonna be gooping this up anyway, so that doesn't matter. So next step is we need to get these threads prepared. There's still a little bit of water in this. Black water, gross. But we are going to thread these fittings, or sorry, tape these threads. This is some special tape. It's called Teflon tape or PTFE tape, and it helps seal the threads so that way we don't get water leaking by them once we have everything all threaded up. We need 3 wraps at a minimum. We're gonna try this. And when we wrap this, we want to do it in a specific way so that way when we thread our fittings onto this, we don't accidentally unwind our tape. So we are going to go clockwise. There's 1 wrap, this is 2, and there's 3 plus a half, 3 and a half. Now I don't know if this is the correct thing to do or not, but Roman was telling me about a method where people Teflon tape and then they goop it up with the goopy stuff. So we're gonna be doing that. Just give it that little extra layer of some double leak protection.
And I'm trying to tell, and I can't tell from the angles that I'm seeing. I don't know if that should be taped and doped, or if there should be a washer inside there.
Now we gotta put the shower head on. Okay, there we go. We are ready to hook up our water lines and get this thing mounted to the wall now. What I'm running into is we have our shower fixture installed now, but we have these little brackets that are mounting us to the wall, and they have this little bushing on the back side. It's about 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch long, and it's not quite long enough to get us far enough away from the wall because when we go to turn our water on, we hit the wall. And so I can't actually open it any more than that. So these are just some copper piping that we had, so I'm gonna cut them just a little bit longer, and then we'll put them back in. Then we should be 1/2 inch, maybe 1 inch away from the wall. We should have plenty of room to be able to swivel these all the way around.
And to me, my thought, you could probably have also taken those handles off, rotated them 180 degrees, had them down on bottom where you just turn them up. But hey, different ways to do everything, and that's why I like watching videos like this to see what other people are doing.
Here we go, moment of truth. We got it hooked up. Oh, God, look at that, whoa. Already hot. Before we get too carried away and get started hooking up the washing
Now, I like that.
machine,
Remember, right there, he said it's already hot. Remember, when he was first talking about that shower, he said it took 10 minutes to get the hot water there through all the corroded galvanized lines. So, you know, to me, that's pretty cool.
Into the concrete, so we got a bunch of concrete dust and stuff. I don't really want to let that harden, so we're just going to kind of clean up as we go.
But you can tell here he's definitely not an electrician because he's keeping his work area clean and he's cleaning as he goes. Now, we all know most electricians don't know how to clean, so this is really good.
With our shower now hooked up, we also have something else new. If we follow that water line right
I like his analytical mind too, to create the spacer to keep it from pulling back.
To the toilet. We now have water over here, so when we do this, it works. It's always a good feeling when you get the toilet hooked up. I just realized that the dishwasher was not turned on, and so I turned that valve, and long story short, it must be leaking, so I think we are going to be getting a new dishwasher hose, because it looks like it's coming out of like right there. We're gonna have to go to the store to get a new one of those, so we're not gonna be able to mess with that right now. I was thinking about how we were gonna go about doing the washing machine when I walked over to the hot water heater, and on top of it, on this side, we have a extremely slow little pin leak. So I think I'm just gonna shut the water off to this right now, and we're gonna take that off and
shut the water off on the other side, Cole.
It up and see if we can.
Okay, so the valve that he just shut off, and I don't mean anything, and he may have already done it, but the valve he should just shut off was the hot water outlet line. So where he's talking about that leak, you've still got the cold water pressure coming in. So I hope that he does shut this off before
Probably
picking
not
it
the
all apart.
smartest thing to do while there's hot water in there, but I'm gonna try to go real slow, and we're just gonna slowly relieve the pressure from this. I don't want it to squirt. I do have the water off going into the hot water here, as well as the water off going out of it, so it's just what's in this little copper line, but it could be 160 degrees or so, which would burn me. Okay, right there. We're gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna let it.
And it should not be over
See all the
140
steam
degrees,
coming
Cole.
off of it. One thing we've kind of made an observation on is it seems like when a plumber comes in and puts things in, they almost always use new fittings, and we are realizing why. It seems like, at least here, all of the fittings that we put back together that were used, or almost all of them, leak. So this is not an exception, so I don't know if a plumber would replace this when they put this on. But what's supposed to happen is there is a rubber gasket inside of this that pushes down on the top. And so then that way nothing can get by, and then you don't have to put any thread sealant or anything on these threads. But there must be just enough deformation or something in this, or maybe a little gunk up on top of it, that is just letting a quarter of a pinhole through, just enough to make it go drip once every minute. So I'm just gonna try to clean it up here a little bit with
me personally, guys. I'd have just tried to tighten that up a little bit. I mean, even if you can get another quarter turn on there, it may be enough to make it stop leaking.
50 degrees Fahrenheit to over 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So I don't think our hot water heater is that hot, so we should be good.
God, I hope not.
Let's see what that looks like. Oh, now we got the fun part. Okay, I guess here we go. We're gonna give it a try. Very gently. Eduardo, come here. You wanna help me? We gotta dry off the hot water heater.
You have to go with Daddy if you want to help him.
There you go. Hold on to that.
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta wipe that down. You wanna dry it?
Okay.
Yep, dry it. There we go. Oh, just like that. Get up in here. Okay, do we see it leaking?
Future plumber right there, y'all. Be
We see
careful.
water leaking? Okay, good. Yeah, I don't see any water leaking either.
Okay, so
After my brother
day
and
and a
I
half
got the
later.
shower hooked up and I got the hot water heater leak fixed, I got slammed with office work. So for the past day, I've been down in the shop office working on my computer. And while I was doing that, Roman was continuing work in the basement, and he got the washing machine hooked up. Take a look, take a look. Roman did a phenomenal job. He's got everything nice and straight, and he even mounted it to the wall so that way this doesn't move. He's got the bottom screwed to the wall with these nice little fixtures.
I don't know that I like the metal clips on the opener pipe, but it's just because if that pipe ever vibrates, moves because of the water flow, it causes it to rub holes in it and leak.
Or anything, we'd be able to do that. And then you just unhook your hose and hook your washing machine hose back up. So we got cold on this side and then hot on this side. So all this is now done. We're pretty much all done with the plumbing.
It looks good though. Roman, you're doing a great job, brother.
To it now. We basically just need to get the washing machine lines back on the back of the washing machine, and we also need to clean out this corner. 36-hour update on the water heater. The cold side is not leaking, and neither is the hot, so we got this fixed. But now we have another problem. So these water lines right here, they run and then they elbow straight up. So we replaced everything from the little shark bites right above the elbows down. So everything down here in the basement has been completely replaced, but everything basically from right there up is old piping. And those old pipes lead to the upstairs bathroom, which when we turn the water on here in the shower, the cold water, we hardly get a trickle through. So we have a feeling that when we turned the water off the other day, any of the grime that may have been inside of these old pipes probably dislodged itself a little bit. Then when we turned the water back on, woof, we just took those dislodged pieces and sent them through the system. So we have a feeling that back here we have some plug junctions or plug fittings or something, and this is the old CPVC pipe from, I don't know, probably 30 years ago. So we may have just opened a new can of worms. Before we get too wild and start ripping a bunch of things open, we are going to try one thing. So the way that the water comes into the bathroom is there are two lines that come straight up, and then they run to the shower, but then they also branch off, and then two lines run against the wall into the corner, and then underneath of the sink right here. So what Roman is going to do is he's going to take these fittings off, and then he's basically just going to make a loop. So the hot water will be able to pass around and then go down the cold water line, and we're hoping we'll be able to push whatever is in the cold water line backwards. So we're gonna have to cut one of our new pipes in the basement and then have a bucket down there so that way it can collect all the crud that comes out, and then once we get it flush free, then hopefully we can hook everything back together, and then we should get the obstruction out, and then the water should work. Now if that
Very
doesn't
interesting.
work,
Let's see how this
then
works.
Then we do surgery, but we're gonna try to avoid surgery. Oh yeah, I also forgot. This faucet has the drippy, 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 drippy drip. My dad replaced the O-rings in it like last week, and it still got the drippy, 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 drippy drip. So we're also gonna be replacing this at the same time. Come in here, turn the water off to the house. Now we need to drain.
I love that you put in that extra valve we were talking about yesterday.
I don't want to.
Now you can just isolate the house from the workshop.
There we go, all tight, and sorry, trying not to squirt the Roman. I barely opened it.
Playing games, huh?
Look at all that drain line water. Get the water off, right?
We'll find out. So this is hot. We don't have any problems with it, so we're gonna use this side to run into the cold. So we'll have a good flushing power going through our obstructed cold line that we're gonna cut off on the bottom, and hopefully it will push out whatever crud there is without contaminating the rest of the cold system. That's the hope, that's the goal. We'll see if it will work. See anything?
Oh yeah.
These two guys.
What is it?
It looks like just the
Calcium,
crud on the
magnesium, crud buildup.
lining of the pipe.
We got the water all turned on now, and Roman is going to open up the valve down below. I'm going to run up into the bathroom and just look under the sink and make sure nothing's leaking too bad. All right, Roman, I'm up here. So he's got the hot coming around. It's cycling through this hose. And then
It looks like it's
down the cold
kinked
side, so
right here,
flush everything out.
which I mean,
Nothing's
that's not
leaking.
going
That's a
to
good
cause a
sign.
problem
I
here.
have a feeling that our shower valve is also plugged up, which is on a completely separate line than the one that goes to the sink and the toilet. The sink and the toilet are the two on the right side, but the shower one's the one on the left. And since it's way up here, I have a feeling we probably have some garbage all the way in up here. Any chunks of anything coming out?
Yeah, we got a couple bigger ones, nothing huge. Oh, it's hot.
After our first little flush through, everything that we're seeing floating in the bucket is what we had in the lines. I guess that would be our biggest chunk right there. That one sunk to the bottom. I'd stick my hand in there, but that water is full heat from the hot water heater. Or sorry, the water heater. So
There you
I'm
go.
not gonna stick my hand in there, but that thing could plug some stuff up right there. So that could have potentially been our problem.
Houston, we got a problem.
Roman seems pretty sharp.
I know exactly what it is. This thing.
Oh no.
It was stuck right in here.
Okay, that's like a diverter, it looks like, out of one of the lavatory faucets. I don't know how it would have got down in there.
Now our little connection is in place. We're gonna connect our old lines with the new and hope for the best. Now I'm actually eager to see what result are we gonna get. So we're gonna turn the water on very slowly. The moment of truth. That's a good sign already. It seems that the system is already primed, it's not gurgling and stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and open that valve some more in the basement. Full blast pressure, look at this. How about the toilet? Toilet is full. The last but very important, definitely not the least, is a shower. Oh, it's working.
There's no better feeling, and I think that's why I love residential service. There's no better feeling than to go in and solve a problem, to be able to come in and analyze it, see what's going on, see what's happening, and then actually fix it. So I do. I love this. I love what they're doing. And yeah, I would have had no problem at all leaving Roman there. He knows what's going on. So good stuff.
So much pressure.
There's probably more pressure there than they've ever had.
Success. So wonderful.
I love
And the
it.
final wipe down for the prettiness of
Look,
the
Roman's
complete
not an
job.
electrician
So
either, see? He's cleaning up
customer
after
is
himself.
100% satisfied. You always want to return. Oh, you always want to present the finished product
Where it looks
in
beautiful.
the condition better than it was received. It was definitely a successful day, not as productive as I was thinking that I'm gonna accomplish, but still the new valve is in, the water obstruction issue is solved, everything working great. Did a little cleanup where we made our mess. The washing machine is hooked back up. There is a little cleaning hose for Daddy Cornstar to hose everything off. Everything works awesome, and it's a good feeling to stop and go home before I mess something up and gonna ask myself, why did I start doing this?
As far as the remodel goes inside of my parents' house, we have replaced all of the old water lines in the house. And so they're all completely new down here in the basement. And the actual room that we are going to be remodeling for the bathroom is right above this room. So we have new water lines running in here. Once we actually get our fixtures in the room up above, then we'll be able to connect these up. So pretty much our water line situation is done. We still need to address our plumbing. So we're going to be tying into that stack line somehow, and then our new drain lines are gonna go over here, and then they're gonna run over the top of this wall, so that way we can pick up all of the sewage that will come from this room. So that's something we still need to do. And then we also need to address the electricity in that room. That really shouldn't be too complicated. Our breaker box is over here. We're just gonna have to run some wires all the way across, basically follow our plumbing line, and then just shoot everything up through the floor and inside the walls and figure out where we want stuff in there. So there's not a lot that needs to be done, but we definitely still have a ways to go. So with that being said, we're gonna do a little bit of grilling and enjoy this nice, beautiful day and get started on a new project tomorrow. So this is all we got for today. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
I'm going to do another video reviewing the next half of this. But guys, I love this kid. I love what he's doing. I think he's doing amazing things. He's tearing it up here on YouTube. If you haven't seen his videos, go over there, watch it, and make sure you subscribe to his channel, because he is. He's a great kid doing great things, and watch what he does. Until I see you next time in the next one, y'all have fun. And whatever you're doing out there today, do it safe and hit it effing hard.